GSL.
What's up, guys? We're Tastosis, and this is the GSL Code S. Artie, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fantastically tasteless, I must say, because this is the round of 16, and the round of 16 is, as SOS says, who's by the way not in the round of 16. This is where Code S really starts.
The real Code S begins. Today's going to be a fantastic day. We got a lot of great players down here, and it's going to be interesting to see who actually comes out on top.
That's right. It's going to be a lot. I'm laughing because I put on my headset the last second, and the microphone is literally in my mouth. So
yeah, I was noticing
I'm
going
to go ahead and be completely unprofessional for a moment because this is a GSL. We've been doing it for years, so that's fine. But there we go. A lot better now.
I got to say, you do see a big difference, though. You do see a big difference from the round of 32 to the round of 16. It's a lot harder to tell who's going to get out of the group. Yeah,
that's a fact. Like, any players can make it through in this new group here today. Like, in the round of 16, any players can go up.
Yeah.
Well, not any combination players because we have Dark playing today, so he will be going up. But who will be joining him? It could be any of the three.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to call, and it is such a big difference as far as predictions go when you do get to the round of 16. It's much tougher. We have a totally different GSL Code S than we had last year, since we have all the Koreans now here in Korea. StarCraft is less chopped up, to use a business term, I'd say less market confusion as far as what's the best tournament and who are the best players. They're all here in Korea now. We had 32 just Koreans, which is pretty good. And we're going to see today which two Koreans are going to be the first two to move on to the round of 8.
That's right. Look at these groups, Tasteless. Pretty darn stacked today. Of course, INnoVation, Terminator, MMA, and Dark. Over in Group B, the current champion, Life. World champion, that is, of course.
Yeah.
Along with Yoda, Tai, and Sulky. And then Group C, Rain, Rogue, Dream, and Solar. That's pretty crazy. And, of course, Group D, most people call it the Group of Death, of course.
Yeah, that's the group I am most looking forward to. Martin and Paru. and MC Ro. No, Maru, Parting, MC, and Hero. It's really tough to say who's going to get out of that.
It's pretty crazy,
I got my fingers crossed for Maru and Parting. Hence my Martin call.
Well, what about the fact that Hero's going to get out of that group no matter what? What about that, Tasteless?
You can't count that in, Artosis, as a factor.
But seriously, 6 sick groups. This is a wildly good and diverse round of 16.
Our group here today, we have INnoVation, Terminator, MMA, and Dark. Who do you predict to get out?
Well, Dark will be coming out of this group because he's better than everyone. Second place, it's a hard one for me. Will it be INnoVation? Will it be Terminator?
I think it could be Terminator.
A lot of people are saying INnoVation,
my gut feeling is pulling me towards INnoVation. Like, I would be foolish to not say INnoVation gets out.
Yeah.
But Terminator has been looking so good, especially as of late. And MMA, he's somebody that we had counted out in the past. He did very well at BlizzCon, and he could do very well here today.
Yeah, he could. You can't actually completely count out MMA.
That being said, I would be very surprised if he did get out.
Yeah, it would be quite an upset if MMA got out of here. Like, really quite a big upset. So I'm not thinking it'll happen, but we'll see.
박영호 선수를 뽑아서 같이 하려고 했는데 교환권이 있으니까
저는 어디 딱히 가고 싶은 데가 없어요.
그럼 뭐 집에 가고 싶으신 거예요?
네, 말이 끝나고 집에 가고 싶어요.
문성원!
저희 회장님 먼저 올라가시고 남은 사람들께 재밌게 싸웠으면 좋겠어요. 계약직 한 명 뽑으면
계약직!
저희 가고 싶어요. 서로 위면할 수 있는 그런 작전이 좀 생각났거든요. 계약직 이제 뽑으러 가려고요.
박영호 선수를 선택을 했습니다.
제가 32강에서 진 것도 있고 복수도 해보고 싶어가지고요.
시드권자 빼고 바뀔 수가 있습니다. 이신영 회장님한테.
신영 형이랑 A조에서 같이 올라가면은 결승에서 만나는 거잖아요. 그냥 절 여기 남겨줬으면 좋겠어요.
오, 아니 싫다. INnoVation, Terminator, MMA, Dark.
That was a catchy song right there at the end of that video.
Yeah. Really good music here at the GSL.
Yeah, I'd say it's
안녕하세요.
best music in esports
자,
actually.
그 어느
DK does a really
때보다
good job
화려한
of that.
대진으로
We're going to go on to our
16강이
interview now
시작됐습니다. 오늘 그
and see
A조
what our
선수분들을
four players are
경기 전에
thinking
한 분씩
before
만나볼
we start this
텐데요. 자,
match.
가장 먼저
This is the
이번에
beginning of the round of
이노베이션
16.
주식회사라는 컨셉이 참 재밌게 오늘 A조를 만드는 데
Beauty says-
이끌어주신 이신영 회장님과 먼저 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
The players are calling each
안녕하세요.
other CEOs and contract workers
네.
in the trash
자,
talk.
이번에 가장
She says
큰
hello
권한을
INnoVation.
행사하시기로
Says hello.
했는데 오늘 조 마음에 드세요?
네, 나름
You said
뭐
so you had a lot of
괜찮고
leverage in your group nomination. How do you feel about your group?
가장 마음에 드세요?
And he responds, yeah, I like it. And she said, which
딱히
player are you
막
happiest with to have
그렇게
here?
마음에 드는 사람은 없는데 그래도 올라갈 수는 있겠다라고
There's no
생각해서
particular player that I like,
그 점이 마음에는 들어요.
but
네.
more importantly is I have confidence to move on to the
없지만
next round. He likes
그래도
the fact that
한때
he knows he's
같은
going to make it out.
동료였던 문성원 선수가 오는데 피하시지도 않으셨습니다. 혹시 문성원 선수가 삐치진 않으시던가요?
So you have an old friend of yours once on the same
성원이
team.
형이
MMA is in your
조지현 때
group.
마지막에 박영우 선수를 좀 바꿔주기를 원했는데 제가 어쩌다 보니까 그렇게
MMA actually,
좀 미안한 마음이 있긴
wanted me
한데
to trade in Dark for somebody else, and I didn't accept that offer. I feel bad for him.
잘할 것 같아요.
But
네.
anyways, MMA is a great
말씀하셨듯이
player.
TK조도 피하지 않으셨습니다.
I think he can hold his own pretty
오늘
well.
어떤 생각으로 박영우 선수를 뽑으셨는지도 궁금하거든요.
You also didn't avoid the team kill. What was the
그냥
function of you picking Dark?
영우도 이 조를 뭐 안 바꿔줘도 괜찮다고 해가지고
네.
그냥 뭐
Well, Dark said he didn't want to be traded to the other group.
어쩌다 보니까 그렇게 됐어요.
So he was actually happy with his group.
느껴지는데요.
but
자, 오늘
that's just my
이신영
opinion.
선수와 첫
He said he
상대를
can feel his
치를
confidence.
진에어 그린뉴스의 하재상 선수와도 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요, 부장님.
Well, let's go ahead and talk to Green Air,
네.
Jin Air
자,
Green Wings
사실
Terminator.
스케줄이
What is with me today?
Green
I
Air
can't
Jin
talk-
Wings, man.
되셨나요?
며칠 동안
So you had a really busy
촬영하고
schedule up
일본
until now. How have you prepared?
별로 많이 못했어요.
Yes, all I can remember is riding in cars from event to event, and it's been hard to prepare since I've been so busy.
있으신가요?
So your opponents are really strong. All three of them,
제
actually. What are
손만
your
제 머리를
thoughts?
따라와 준다면 그냥 충분히 올라갈 수
He says,
있을
if my hands follow my heart, my mind,
긴장을 하지 않은
I'll do
상태에서
fine.
마음을 비우고 하니까 잘 됐다고 하셨잖아요.
He's right too.
마인드 컨트롤에도 어느 정도 성공을 하고 계신가요?
그냥 마음 편하게 하고 왔어요.
so he said,
네.
you feel. She
자,
asked if you feel confident. Do you think you can play better?
그러면 오늘 이어서
And he said, yeah.
문성원
What I
선수와도
do before I
이야기를
get to
나눠보도록
the tournament
하겠습니다.
area is I empty my
자,
mind.
문성원 선수 경기가 오늘 경기까지
Now we're gonna go
시간이
talk
별로
to MMA.
없었습니다. 오늘 연습 어떻게 하셨어요?
So MMA, you didn't really have much time to prepare since you're in Group A. What are your thoughts on that?
오늘 영웅만 두 번 잡고 올라가려고요.
네.
I prepared mostly to defeat Dark.
32강전 때 상대가 바로 박영우 선수였는데요. 오늘은
And he's
좀 다른
hoping
모습
they don't meet Dark twice.
아, 네, 그때
go to the next round.
오늘
She said, so yeah, it's a pretty tough matches in the round of 32. Do you feel like you're going to have better performance today? And MMA says, I didn't feel like I was just warmed up in the round of 32. So I think it's going to work out better this time.
기세도 좋고 지금 뭐
She said, do you have any words to
회장이라고
exchange with INnoVation?
오늘 회장 내려가는 날인 것 같고 제가 또 왼쪽 가슴이
Yes, he plays very, very well.
것 같아요.
And us other players have nicknamed him CEO or the president.
그 기세 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
But that's
자,
the last
이어서
time for him.
다코스
He's
투표에서
getting thrown out
가장
of
많은
office
표를
already.
받기도 했던 이 박명우 선수와 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네.
So,
방금 전
a lot of
얘기했듯이
fans that
가장
have been
많은
watching
표를
are expecting
얻으셨어요.
great results from our player over here, Dark. How are you feeling about the expectations your fans have for you, Dark?
그렇게 막 딱히 기쁘고 그런
He
거
said it's pretty natural.
사실 최근 경기에서 약간
He said
부진한
it's-
모습이
there's not even a real reason to
나오기도
be happy
했는데
about it.
그것과는 상관없이 박명우 선수는 언제나 자신감 있으신가 봐요.
사실
She said it seems like you're always confident, no matter which opponent you're up
져가지고
against.
멘탈이 많이 나갔는데
네.
지금 다시 복구한 상태고요.
네.
옛날 모습
Yeah, actually the last matches I had,
이 자신감을 회복하는 과정에
I've
32강전 때 좋은
He
상대였던
said I think my mind was not in the right place
문성호
before, but I
선수가
think I've
있는
recovered
것이
that and I'm
많이
ready now.
도움이 되세요?
네. 성원이 형이 오늘 저를 두 번 만나신다
So,
했는데
is it a boost to your confidence since MMA is here? You've defeated him before in the round of 32.
오늘 첫 경기에서 2대 0.
Dark says, yeah, of course, and I think I'm going to beat MMA again. There's no chance that I can lose to him this
네.
time.
자, 오늘 이렇게 선수분들이 또 가볍게 몸을 풀어봤는데요. 오늘 경기 시작하기 전에 선수분들이 어떤 각오를 가지고 계시는지
So,
들어보도록
this is-
하겠습니다. 자, 마이크 쥐고 계신
Oh,
박명우
excuse
선수부터
me.
시작을 해볼까요?
Any final words from our players? Dark, you go first.
지난주에는 제가 원하는 경기력이 안 나와서 되게 제 자신한테도 실망 많이 했고
So last week I didn't really pull out my best
멘탈을
performance. I was really
잡는데
disappointed in
실망 많이
myself.
했으니까 오늘은 좀 다를 거예요.
네,
I'm focused in now, though, and I'm gathering my
자, 지니어 그리딩스 주장
gathering a
하재상
good
선수는
mindset,
또
for
어떤
lack of better
각오실지
words. And
궁금한데요.
so please share for me today. On to you, Terminator. What do you have to say?
SK 분들한테 뒤통수를 많이 맞았는데 오늘 패자전이라는 법원에
These SK Telecom guys have been backstabbing a lot.
네,
So I'm gonna do my best
이번에는
to send him to the losers
잡아주셨네요. 자, 이신영 선수 이야기를 들어보겠습니다.
He's hoping that the two SK Telecom guys will fight against each other and eliminate each other. On to INnoVation. Any final words?
진출할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다.
Says, yeah, I'm just gonna play
문성호
as
선수
usual.
88년생의 힘을 보여주셨으면 좋겠어요. 각오 들어보겠습니다.
저도
He said
뒤통수
it won't
많은
take a lot of
사람 중에
effort to move on to the
한
next round.
사람인데
MMA.
패자조라는 법원에서
네.
응징을 하겠습니다.
네,
He says
과연
these other
패자조
players
조합이
have
이렇게
backstabbing
나올지
me too. It's time to get
궁금하네요.
revenge. I'm
자,
gonna crush
그럼
these guys and get out of this group.
16강조 오늘 가장 먼저 8강에 진출한 선수는 누가 될지 기대해 주시고요. 저는 첫 번째 진출자와
So,
돌아오도록 하겠습니다.
Let's
자,
find
잠시
out
후에
now who's going to be the
시작하겠습니다.
first player to move on to the round of 8.
All right, you can see here, of course, who they beat to get here. Most impressive one there, Tasteless. I'll fill it in for you. It's Terminator. Look at that. 2-0 Hero and 2-1 Curious. It's like
You know, it's interesting
pretty
because
darn good.
Terminator, not long ago, we were not considering a top contender.
Like last season.
He was like the extra in Star Trek, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We bring in six
Guy with the
guys,
phase rifle.
six guys on the planets, and it's like Captain Jones or whatever, and he's gonna get shot. Yeah, he's got the phase rifle.
Ensign.
He dies in the Star Trek episode, so we
Yeah.
have some kind of semblance of drama or tension.
yeah.
But not anymore. Terminator is he's more of a Picard or something.
Well, I wouldn't call him a Picard.
Captain
I mean,
LaForge.
Captain LaForge. No, what do you don't even Lieutenant LaForge. What?
I don't know
God.
their ranks, man.
You need to watch
You're
some Star Trek. This is
I'm not
embarrassing.
much of a Star
Why are
Trek
you
guy.
commentating a video game? Well, this is
No
a
narrative
great
cred.
group. You were saying, I want you to continue your thought because you were saying about INnoVation and Terminator. You were saying like,
It feels foolish to say INnoVation won't get out, but
Yeah.
I really do feel like, if you've been watching Terminator here and the other tournaments in Korea, he's playing very well. He looks really
yeah,
good.
Terminator
And-
looks fantastic.
Yeah, and we see this. Terminator's not a player that's actually. He's been around for a while. He was in the Korean words. We don't have an English equivalent. Is young. He's
Yeah.
like
He's like a
in
team
sense,
captain.
the big brother and sort of the team captain to a lot of these other players, mentors them, and that was more his definitive role on the teams, and not so much a top contender in tournaments. But that has changed. He's looking much stronger than before.
Terminator is really looking great right now.
He really is.
And everyone is so caught up in INnoVation being like the best Terran, which he might be. I mean, it's like him or Maru. You know, there's a couple people you could name.
Yeah, sure.
Really, realistically, probably one of them. But anyways, INnoVation, yes, he's very good. He's very strong. Dark is the best player, in my opinion, in this group. I think Dark is for sure getting out of here. It's the question of who else is getting out with him. And I think that Terminator can actually get out in first or second place here. Like, I think Terminator right now, he is really smart.
Yeah.
His
That's what I
play,
like about
this
him.
is
It's-
why
it's
he
not
looked like
just that
crap
he's-
before.
Yeah.
Is because he's a smart player.
Because a lot of smart players, they try to pull off strats that are, maybe almost ahead of their time,
Yeah.
or maybe unnecessarily complex. Then they lose. And people go, oh my God, what happened there? Welcome to the studio, guys.
They can't hear you. They don't have the
can't-
earbuds in,
get the
but if you
earbuds
come,
in.
you can get them and listen.
Oh, they have the earbuds in.
Oh, yeah,
know.
they hear all
Welcome
about
to the
it.
studio.
Hey, guys.
By the way, guys, get down to the studio. It's free if you're watching. You're sort of doing right thing. See, they're at the studio. These people got it figured out.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, welcome.
Bring down headsets and everything.
Entry's free. You can make a little sign here. We see a cheerful. That's what they're called in Korean. Write a sign. Talk about how Artosis is a great commentator. And and you'll get a GSL coin.
Two
GSL coins.
coins.
All right.
It's a pretty sick deal right there.
And so we always have this place fill up. I was just informed that we have to swap out Terminator's PC.
Oh, okay.
So we get a little bit of downtime.
I guess it wasn't sentient yet. They have to.
No, that was not
Skynet
yeah,
computing, man. Well, that's fine because I actually want to talk about this a whole lot more because everyone's looking at INnoVation, right? It's like, well, he's the last champion. He's playing so well right now. He's 6-0 in Pro League. Well, let me give you a little fact about 6-0 in Pro League, Tasis. His last two games against Hush and Hurricane, two Protoss players, both worse than Terminator. Try to argue that with me. He came very close to losing both. Hush brought him to the brink. Hurricane had him dead. He was dead, and like
saw that.
I would have to make a list of like 15 things you'd have to do wrong in that game to lose, and Hurricane checked every single one off. It was one of the sickest throws, worst mistake games ever.
For sure.
Okay, so like, yeah, INnoVation is technically 6-0, but I don't care about that because really,
Well,
he's like
I think what's more important is how he's
he's
playing
4-2
now,
or 5-1
and
if you ask me, Tasteless. That Hurricane win doesn't even count.
I'm curious to see how far he's going to get. I mean, the question, I guess, is was Terminator sent back in time to win a GSL Code S?
Could have been.
Apparently, in the movie, he was messed up. He was not supposed to kill Sarah Connor. He was actually supposed to go back in time. He was put in the wrong country with the wrong programming files. Okay.
Well, now they're not programming files; they're pro-gaming files.
They're Oh, that was good. I didn't even see that coming.
No,
well,
I didn't
either.
But seriously, he's really, really good right now. So I'm really stoked to see how Terminator does. Like, this guy...
Well, there's a chance seriously, there's a chance... Oh, wait, where is it? Australia?
No, this is Korea. You're in Korea supporting GSL. Welcome to the studio.
We actually got to see the numbers for GSL. We have a lot of Australian viewers.
Yes, we do.
Big Australian following. It makes sense, though. It's in the same... roughly the same time zone.
Yeah, close enough.
By the way, because I know that not everybody's good at maps, but Australia is really far away from... Not everybody's good at maps or globes, but Australia incredibly far away from everywhere else.
Yeah, it's like really far away.
You see that when you look at a map, you're like, oh, well, clearly that's very far, until you actually land in Malaysia and then get on the flight to Sydney. And how long is that flight?
It was like 7 or 8 hours.
No, it was longer than that. I think it was like 10 hours, man. It was just insane.
Maybe.
I sat up straight in my airplane seat, and I started looking around at the other passengers because I thought, no, this can't possibly be true.
He did actually do that. He was shocked.
No,
he was shocked.
We're going to be on the plane for that long. So
Pesos wasn't good at maps at one point as well.
No, I was just blown away, man.
Yeah.
That whole bottom side of the globe, man, apparently just as...
Well, you know, same trip I was on with you, I literally got off the airplane with sandals clipped to my backpack because I'm like, oh, sick, summertime, the beach, Sydney. And then I realized that the Southern Hemisphere has winter.
Out, it's very, they have a different
when we have
summer.
What is this?
We didn't bring enough warm clothes. This is how you could tell we had an American education. We're definitely the byproduct of that.
That's a fact.
But yeah, so we always get people coming down from all over, filling up the studio, and it's really cool. And just really cool to see such an international following, even though it's so Korean dominant in StarCraft II.
Yeah. Well, those are the best players, so let's watch them.
Yeah.
You can watch the players that aren't the best too if you want. That's fine.
It's funny because before StarCraft II was coming out, we grew up on Brood War, right? So we were used to the Koreans really dominating, and we were convinced. We were saying in interviews that would happen with the press or game of such, like, well, you watch out because in StarCraft II we're going to see foreign dominance. It's going to be an even playing field, and we were totally wrong.
No,
and so here we are.
Never happened. Never will happen.
The only non-Koreans in this tournament are the casters, guys. That's about it.
I guess you're right.
So I think the PC swapped out.
Well, it takes a little bit. You gotta get your
we
mouse
actually have
plugged
backup
in
PCs here.
Yeah. We don't actually go to the store to buy them every time they break.
No.
Thanks, Tasteless.
No problem, guys. The magic of TV. Don't be confused. We're prepared for everything here. But hopefully they get that set up here. This is sort of the other unspoken part of our job, is that we just kind of fill time.
I like it. It's not as good as StarCraft games, but it's a close second.
It's pretty good.
It's better than other esports. Yeah, take that. He's like, well, I don't know. I really like League. I don't care.
Some nerd at home had a spasm. He's like, no!
Spit out his Cheerios and hit the mar. He's like, I'm going to mute this now.
I'm writing a blog right now about this.
Yeah. But no, even the downtime is fun because we get to talk more and more about StarCraft 1. I want your actual prediction for today's group. I want you to put yourself on the line.
Dark and Terminator.
Dark and Terminator?
Yeah. Yeah. I already had...
I'll go with Dark and Terminator too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be predicting the same thing as you if I'm casting with you for so long, but we'll see what happens.
I'll rub off on you. It's a good thing.
Anything more like Artosis is a good thing.
We're like yin and yang, man. I'm good. You're evil. This is actually...
So...
You're pretty funny. I'm really funny. Like, you're kind of smart. I'm really smart. You know, like we're opposites, basically.
Oh, man. By the way, the studio filled up pretty nicely down here. This is
yeah. We had a good amount of people come in. INnoVation getting a pretty good fan base.
Yeah, he's
so
got a pretty
that's
good following. I would say, despite the fact that, or I would say, in spite of the fact that he doesn't give great interviews.
Oh no,
who gives the worst interviews in StarCraft II? Is it INnoVation?
You know, there's a lot of people that give interviews that I don't like.
Cookie cutter interview. There's a lot of people that do interviews and they're like, I will play hard and I will show good games to my fans.
When someone that never wins and gets an interview on, like, you know, whenever that happens, it doesn't happen that often. But those guys like that have only gone through like one class of KESPA interview training, which actually exists, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll just say literally, like, we don't even need a translator. I'll just tell you what they're going to say.
You're not going to hear something crazy usually in a Korean pro gaming post-victory interview. They're not going to go out there and say something like Tupac's not dead. You're not going to have anything crazy like that come out. They're normally pretty kosher.
Some people, though, are getting like a lot more personality nowadays. And, you know, like, for instance, Terminator's been talking some trash, so is Dark. It's pretty fun. Of course, MC and Parting, two of the big ones with that as well. A lot of fun personalities.
I say Parting probably does the most interesting interviews, in my opinion. MC as well, though.
I think you're probably right about that, yeah.
I love how we are capturing every person in the audience now. This is the art of killing time on a live TV show,
like
guys.
Every single
person. And now look at this. This is you guys. You really got to appreciate this. Like, GSL is actually very good at sort of filling this time in. Look at how natural this looks. So let's just break the ice here.
This is the way it's supposed to be.
Look at that. We got the shot there. We get the camera.
We're going to break a computer
crane.
every day from here on out.
Yeah. Just to make it harder. Hardest game. We'll make it the hardest cast, too. We'll put this all up on the hardest difficulty.
Indeed. Well, I'm ready for it to start. How about you?
Boy, am I ready for it to start, Artosis.
Yeah.
I would love to get this game going. Okay, we're getting an update here. He's getting his settings adjusted. And then
I got to get that mouse working on.
We're like, hold on, guys. I've been told he's downloading StarCraft II now. We have another half hour.
Battle.net just went down for maintenance. This could be a while, guys. We're so sorry. We're not smart enough to cut to commercial, so we're just going to keep talking like this.
Oh, man. Well, if he's getting his settings straightened out, then we should be ready to go pretty soon.
We'll go pretty quick. I actually want to throw something out there real quick. I do want to mention that, like, I talked about it a long time ago because I was playing it a bunch back then. Shin Megami Tensei 4, a 3DS game.
Oh, you beat that now?
I did beat it.
Congratulations.
It took me like 58 or 59 hours, I believe it was.
You know what? We don't do enough as nerds, guys.
Fantastic game.
I need to have real talk here with all the nerds around the world. We don't congratulate our friends when they beat long RPGs. Because let's face it. Oh, and we were just told that Terminator asked for 5 more minutes, so we've actually unlocked...
That's great. I can talk about Shin Megami Tensei.
We've unlocked an even new level of difficulty in the cast, okay?
This is after you beat
know when
the
you
game?
beat it on extreme mode? No, hold on. What was it in Metal Gear Solid 3? It was European extreme mode. Once you get that, now we've unlocked the new level of difficulty, which is Terminator's computer is not working.
Yeah. Well,
Ultra Hard Deathmatch.
Let me talk about this game a little bit because I want to, like, I had so much fun and I enjoyed it so much. I really want to tell a lot of people about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I used to play, like, before, when did StarCraft 1 come out? Like 1999 or 98?
1998, I believe.
Previous to that, I played a lot of single-player games and I really liked them. And then I had, this stretch of
Sega Genesis,
16
Super
or
Nintendo,
17
Japanese
years.
RPG era.
Yeah. So I've had a long stretch of mostly just StarCraft, but, like, I play some 3DS from time to time because I travel a lot and stuff on the subway. Sure. And that game, I, like, played a hell of a lot of it for a long time, and then it just kind of, like, I got busy, and, I just didn't really have the time to play it. But I finally decided to sit down and beat it because I have all these new 3DS games I got for birthdays and Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to do that. So it was really a fantastic game, though. Very long, super deep. I didn't come anywhere near getting everything done.
You know what? That's okay, though. I think it's oftentimes not.
No,
worth
I don't
it
want
to
100%
try to get
the game.
everything.
No, I don't have any interest in that.
Getting like Ruby weapon or whatever in Final Fantasy. I think it's not actually that worth it.
But it was a fantastic game. Definitely check it out. That's Shin Megami Tensei 4. If you just type in SMTIV, then that'll show you what it is. But if you have a 3DS, totally, absolutely worth the money. And
I will say, though, if I go back on my point, we don't, as nerds, congratulate each other. When you beat, like, a 60-hour game, that's actually, like, a really big deal.
That's a lot of hours,
I think if you beat, like, a 60 or 100-hour game, like, you should have a celebration. You should go out with your buddies.
I think that's a cool idea.
I've started doing this.
That's a cool idea.
I'm just like, wait a minute, I just beat...
You
like,
never invited
first
me to
game,
any of those parties.
The thing is, I don't actually like you, Artosis. No, I did this when I beat, what was it, Demon Souls. I beat him like, oh my god, I finally beat Demon Souls. I got to go out and celebrate.
Yeah.
Because a lot of nerds, they just beat the game and they're like, yes. And they just put it out of the game. No, you gotta celebrate.
Yeah, you should. And I think that's a good idea. Unfortunately, I don't have any friends, so I'll just play StarCraft after I beat a game. That's my fallback.
Artosis high fives his anime body.
My
pillow
only
and-
friends are the Stalker and the Zealot tasteless.
My only friends are Tassadar and Zeratul tasteless.
Yeah.
Now, our map lineup is going to be King Sejong Station, Merry-Go-Round, and Deadwing.
Okay. This is a pretty cool map pool. Merry-Go-Round going to be a little bit innovation favored, IMO. Deadwing, if they're cross spots, that's like almost impossible to kill each other, so that could be an issue, especially for innovation. Whereas if you take innovation to super late game as a Protoss, I think he is quite beatable. So this is going to be a good series, Tasteless.
It should be. We do apologize for the delay. I think this is one of the longest delays we've had before we start a game up.
We once had to fill time for over 40 minutes before a World of Tanks game.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, our first World of Tanks cast.
It was one of our early ones, for
It was
sure.
like, well, we don't really have that much to talk about for this.
That was a tough one.
That was
the
We made it through
ultimate.
that.
I'll never complain about anything in my life ever again because of that. As long as I never have to do that again.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wait to get some confirmation. I believe the Terminator should be ready just based off the camera shots we're getting here.
They're getting him in the lobby right now, so it should only be like another minute or two. But let me just jump back and say real quick.
Sure.
Some people that I believe these are the same people that made the game Atlas made. At least they were involved in making Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Oh, really?
The new game I just started, they made as well, and it has kind of a similar feel.
Yeah.
And it's called like Etrian Odyssey: The Millennium Girl, or Untold: The Millennium Girl, or something like that. But it's more like anime RPG, whereas the other one's very real RPG.
Okay.
Like
okay.
real characters, and this one's more anime.
I haven't enjoyed a lot of recent anime RPGs. Like the newer
So
Final
far, I
Fantasies?
quite like this one, but I've only played it for like an hour and a half, maybe.
I don't know.
And it's probably going to be like another 60-hour one, since the other one was.
Oh, Artosis is actually loading up. All right, guys.
Sick.
We're doing this. We're going into game number 1. Innovation against Terminator on King Sejong Station. The winner goes on to the winners section of this group and is then only one best of 3 away from moving on to the round of 8 here in the GSL Code S. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artie McTosis III. And we are going to go right into this game.
Great.
In the upper left, in the red, we have our Terran player, Godlike.
SK Telecom T1 INnoVation.
He always looks unimpressed when he's playing. In the bottom right, in the blue,
GNL Green Wings Terminator.
Well, I guess when you're that good, that can be the case.
trying to think of an original Terminator joke, but I actually don't have any.
No, the movie's been out too long. So.
Oh, I got a funny joke, actually.
Okay.
This is funny. One of my friends, he tweeted this a long time ago. I thought it was so hilarious. He says, just imagine that the entire Terminator 1 storyline is actually, the Terminator is actually, what's the name of the guy that goes back in time? Something, the human that goes back in time. Let's take pictures. Oh, welcome from Boston and Montreal. We love you too. Thanks. You. Oh, and Seattle. I skipped Seattle. That's why it's hard for me to read books. I start in the middle and then I go down to the bottom, then I go to the top. No, it was the idea of imagine if the Terminator is like actually the wingman for the guy trying to protect Sarah Connor. Just imagine this.
That's really
if
funny.
the Terminator is just the wingman, and that guy is simply trying to hook up with Sarah Connor, that would make the Terminator the most awesome wingman ever.
Wow.
That's so.
Wow. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
As soon as you said I got a funny joke, I was like, that's not gonna be that funny, but that was a good one.
No, it's good. It's too funny. Whoa, that's a really good drawing.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a StarCraft 1 medic, I guess.
But we have the SCV coming down now. To get inside Terminator's base.
Indeed. It's early game. It'll take a little bit to see what these guys have planned. No scout by Terminator. That's a little thing to keep in mind there.
Yeah, these are builds that generally get more popular. What Protoss is doing, these builds generally get more popular the longer an RTS game is out, is these non-scouting builds.
Yeah,
any new RTS game that comes out, you can't do these builds or you don't scout generally.
Yeah, this...
It has to. The metagame has to be very, very cemented.
Yeah, and it is quite cemented, which is why he's doing like specifically this type of build. I'm actually surprised he let the Zealot finish, but he made the mothership core right off the bat, and we've been seeing this a lot more in this matchup where you want to send that over because people normally go like Reaper into Reactor, and normally you can, if they make the CC at the natural on this map, you can kill the SCV. So it can be a cool little way to do it.
Well, Reaper does get a little bit of scouting here. There's not a ton to say right now about this game. I mean, they're both doing safe, passive expand builds, which means we should have a very interesting mid-game and late game here.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton they can do. I mean, with the exception of, I guess, the Reaper doing a little bit of harass, but that should be deflected pretty easily here from Terminator.
He won't be able to kill anything. It's good that he's keeping it alive because it's kind of dictating where the mothership core has to go. Like, if he had gotten to kill that mothership core, 100% would have gone across the map, but he's not quite able to do so. But Terminator going right into Twilight, but this is against a tech follow-up with Widowmine and a Starport on the way. So, if this goes, like... It's hard to say exactly how this will go from here, but like he may go ahead and throw up to 3 more gates, as few as 1 or 0, and go into a robo. But you know, like basically the quicker robo he gets, the better off he's going to be here.
All right, Blink has started. Let's see how the game goes from here. The Starport is about to finish. He's coming out with these Marines here too. This is probably to add a little bit of pressure. He can also make that medevac. There it is starting right now. And maybe try to hit more than one location. Just see if he can't harass Terminator. Again, the Terminator, the way he's been playing, his execution's been so solid. I would just be very surprised if this were to do any damage to him.
Strategically, he's been outplaying almost everyone in the GSL this season.
Yeah, but not just that, but just the execution of every strategy he's doing is so spot on. It's not just like the idea.
He quite knows what he's doing.
He's very on top of his game. And we have the Reaper coming in here. And, oh my God, wait, whoa.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that. That's a bit of a mistake for sure.
This Reaper is continuing to be a distraction. It's funny because even our observer actually got distracted there, was following the Reaper over, checking to see if the Marines were doing any damage.
And he forced a Nexus Cannon with like 5 Marines, which is not something you want to have happen. I think Terminator just played flustered there for a moment because you really don't want to have to cast that right then. It's much earlier than you would like.
Yeah, it's a good way to milk the
with 2 Stalkers
for energy.
With 2 Stalkers, though, he should have been able to hold it, but of course he lost that first one, so it's like, well...
A little bit more maneuverability here for INnoVation. Now, Terminator's actually moving out, which means this drop could be really effective. We'll have to see what's actually back at home. And all we have is probes, which is obviously not enough.
Well, we'll see. It looks like he is reacting pretty quickly here. Oh, double on Widowmine! Oh my God! Okay, well... All right, he doesn't lose anything of overly large value here.
He's going to go right into that mothership core? Yeah, nice. That was so sick.
Well done.
That was so sick.
Nice catch
That's not like part of the strategy, by the way, guys. That's him thinking it completely on his feet and being like, wait a minute, if I do this perfectly, I actually get this.
And certainly he did to kill that off. Very, very nice, but not a lot of damage done by the Widowmine drop overall. So Terminator's still all right. It kind of sucks to not have the mothership core, but he already has Blink, so it's not like you're going to break him soon anyways. You don't have to have the mothership core at this moment.
Well, here is Act 2 of the drop harass. We see the Stalkers blinking away. Nicely done. Also, no probes unnecessarily, I should say, picked off. I don't think, has he actually lost any probes this game?
I don't think he's lost probes. No, he did lose at least 1 in the main base, and it looks like he might have lost 2 more, so maybe 3 probes at this point he's lost. But still, I mean, he's defending well enough, right? He lost the Zealot, up to 3 probes, a mothership core. That's a couple Stalkers. Not too bad. He's got his upgrades going into Colossus Tech.
You could see that the small amount of harass that INnoVation's done is got him to a substantial lead now. It's 84 supply to 68. So, I mean, it's considerable for this state of the game. We're just now hitting the 10-minute marker, and normally, especially in TvP, you're pretty much even if the game's going evenly. So this does indicate that INnoVation's in the spot he wants to win. And if you really think about how INnoVation wins the majority of his games, by just he normally has solid late game and kind of doesn't make any errors. You know?
He just kind of out macros you over time.
Yeah, he outproduces and he generally out controls. So I think Terminator is probably in one of the worst possible spots for this phase of the game.
It's definitely a little bit scary right now. This is the point where he has to decide, like, how quickly does he take his third base? How is his strategy going to line up here? Like, does he mix it up and try to go for some pressure or aggression?
Yeah.
And if so, does INnoVation punish him with a big drop?
Well, here comes that command center about to finish.
Oh, man, the Stalkers are way out of position.
Not a lot of opportunity. Oh, my God. Not a lot of opportunity for Terminator to get any lead. And now I think especially with this drop, this is going to be such a huge deficit as the cannon's going to go down. He warps in some Zealots, but, I mean, so inconsequential, really.
Well, those Colossus coming over.
As I say that, yeah, the Colossus actually coming out makes a pretty big difference. Whoa.
Well, he'll be able to save the Colossus, I believe. Oh, yeah, just barely saving it.
Oh, my God. Well, INnoVation trying to make that work a second time by just having enough finesse on the board. That backfired pretty heavily.
Yeah,
now
it
we
certainly
have
did.
another attack coming up over here. Is he going to go right for the Nexus?
Well, with this good gateway placement, it's a little bit hard to actually commit to hitting the Nexus from the front.
Kind of tough to actually squeeze in there.
Yeah, I like that. I'm actually going to take that for this.
Yeah, that's one of these like little subtle things where you're like, oh, if I incorporated that into my play.
Well, I guess this map is gone, though, so I guess I can't. I guess that's gone
It's because it's too late.
Yeah. Actually, that's something I've noticed about Terminator. He has slightly different building placement than every other Protoss, which kind of adds, again, to the narrative that we've been saying that he's like kind of a smart Protoss.
Perfectionistic play. I'm not joking. There are a lot of pro gamers that don't put very much thought into their building placement.
Sure.
You watch them play, and it's a shame because even the way that these gates are set up here in Terminator's main, it makes it a little bit more difficult to drop and hit the Nexus. There's like a lot of the pylons and gates take up a lot of surface area, which is sort of protecting the core of the Protoss' base.
Yeah.
Whoa, micro machines.
Best building placements I've seen. Actually, Stork recently, the game he played in Pro League against Kier was like insanely good building placement.
Well, he had some of the best placement in Brood War as well.
Yeah,
We're talking about a guy who had like all the way up to like the 13th pylon was still placed in the exactly perfect specific location.
That's what this game was like.
Yeah.
On Catalina, it was like amazing. It was really superb placement by. But I mean, Terminator is very good placement.
Stork had some of the best builds, if not the best builds in Brood War.
He had the best builds.
I would just look at his builds.
Him and Flash had the best builds in the whole game.
And Stork especially had builds that were really well prepared for a best of 3.
His builds were broken, actually.
They were just so
he was what was wrong with
completely
Protoss.
good. Yeah, no, he was so good at taking Protoss and just exploiting every aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, here we have INnoVation hitting down these back rocks. He's got a nice supply advantage right now, so trying to press that. This is a weak point right now for his opponent here. Well, I mean, the force fields are pretty good. He's losing a lot of extra Zealots there, which kind of sucks, but he's just trying to buy a little bit of extra time. And I really like what we're seeing from Terminator here, because he's mixed it up a bit. I think because maybe he got into a scary situation earlier on where INnoVation did get ahead, but he's going into much quicker charge and storm off of just 2 Colossi. So he's like kind of baiting out Vikings that you don't need.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty smart.
I love plays like that.
Well, I mean, if you overproduce Vikings for a threat that's not even there, the Vikings, if they're not fighting Colossi, they don't actually have really any function in this matchup. I guess getting Warp Prisms, I guess you could shoot an Observer, but I mean, they're not going to be cost efficient. So that's one smart play there. But also note, Artos is supply now 167 of 134. So even with the Vikings being overproduced, I think the sheer number of grounding that's here for Terran is so overwhelmingly high, it would be pretty tough for Terminator to make a big impact here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid for him because of the upgrade situation, I think, even more than the supply situation, because I think that he can probably defend and stay alive and get his supply right up to where it needs to be to actually fight, but INnoVation's going to have 2-2 here, and I believe Terminator's working on just the +2 armor, just finished up. So, you know, being down 2 upgrades is pretty rough. That's going to make it pretty tough, especially when you're not relying as much on Colossi. Like if you're using like your ground pounder squad of a lot of Zealots, a lot of Archons, a lot of Immortals, the upgrades are just insanely important.
Well, map control has been with INnoVation this entire game. In fact, the few times the Terminator's moved out on the map, it's actually worked against him. The Medivacs come in there and drop. Let's see, though, because this may be Terminator's turn to do some damage of his own. Unless, of course, INnoVation tries to kill him right now. I mean, he is maxed out. Oh, feedback.
Oh,
nice snipe. We have another... feedback there.
Yeah, very good. It actually prevents early EMPs against his very shield-heavy army here. And look at that. He actually, this has been a very strong defensive arm. Look at these Vikings just being so worthless.
You know, I got to question INnoVation's decision to attack up on this side. You know what I mean? It seems a bit weird. Why not attack towards the third or something that you're more likely to kill?
I think he's identified that this army's backbone is charge lots, so he's using this side as a little choke just so that surface area will be small.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the thing is, it's hard to attack up there against the Size Storms. The Size Storms are going to be a pain in your butt, but if you can get up there, the pain in your tushy, Tasteless.
Yeah.
But if you can get up there, man, into position, the Size Storms don't wreck you, the Zealots are going to be pretty worthless. So I see what he's doing, but I got to say, I totally hand it to Terminator for just hiding his Colossi. He's like, no, screw you, I'm not going to give you Colossi for those Vikings.
Oh, and it looks like there's a small opening here. So he's going to try to... Oh, never mind. Nothing happened. He killed it. Easy peasy. Meanwhile, Terran does take the center expansion here. And this is going to give him a lot of push potential because the next two expansions that Protoss could possibly take are going to be pretty tough to secure if Terran has this kind of map position.
Oh, okay. Well, he does have a second forge. He's not using it yet, but INnoVation is going to 3-3, so that upgrade lead continues to be built. Bringing out his Colossi now as well. Ooh, he's going to just lose one completely for free there. Doesn't even get to punish any Vikings. Pretty rough. Nice little Size Storm, but looks like INnoVation pushing down now. Another drop going towards that main base.
We have multi-pronged attack here from Terran with both players maxed out, and this is a pretty good location to drop here. A lot of key structures he can actually do some damage to there, and I think this is smart. Land the Vikings here in the front. They have no other function really than acting as sponges.
How does he deal with that, though?
I don't know if he can, especially with a Zealot army and lots of Immortals in this army. This is not a mobile army.
No,
the Medivac
needs
is
it
what
together.
Needs this. Yeah.
You're very right about that. It is the Medivacs, and well, he's crushing this front army really strongly. But that army in the main base has done a lot of damage. I guess not like a super lot, but enough that it hurts.
Yeah. Well, we have the Medivacs just coming back now. So the counterattack shove here from Terminator is looking pretty strong. Oh! All right, well, the Colossus goes down. This is, I think if Terran just can keep this drop alive here for another minute or so, and Protoss is unable to break the fourth, and by the way, I think it's impossible for Protoss to break the fourth of Terran, I think this game is automatically a loss. I mean, there's really, yep, there it is, GG.
All right, so that game going pretty well there for INnoVation.
Yeah, from start to finish, INnoVation played a very clean, solid game.
Yeah, it was well done. Terminator, I don't think he actually played poorly. Maybe there were like a few small mistakes here and there, but
yeah.
I liked strategically what he was trying to do there at one point, switching out of Colossus and like kind of hiding them against those Vikings walking around. But it's hard to use a composition like that, and INnoVation figured it out early enough that he knew how to pressure in the right locations, made the right type of army, chose the right time to land his Vikings, and bought that time, and especially that planetary. That was very, very important.
Yeah.
If that was like just a regular command center, this game would still be going on.
I'm wondering if Terminator needs to open up with something that he can somehow exploit Terran's position early on, because I feel like if you play a more ordinary game against INnoVation, he's probably just going to win.
Yeah,
the reason why
generally
INnoVation is just renowned as one of the best Terrans is if you leave him alone, then he's not going to release the game.
It's a good point, and definitely something you might want to take into consideration. In the past, we've seen some very strong strategies out of Terminator in this matchup, such as Phoenix Colossi. He's pretty good at that style.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see it on Deadwing, but on Merry-Go-Round, he may have to do an early attack like you're saying, Tasteless.
I think that's probably his best bet. We'll see. I just don't see Terminator winning in like an arm wrestling match kind of game. You know what I mean? Two forces powering on each side of the map. And
Not on
Terminator
this map, for sure.
smashing INnoVation. I don't see that happening. And you really have to tailor your strategy to your opponent and to the map and find the weakness, find the hole,
Sure.
find that way to exploit the player, the map, the race that he's playing, the race that you're playing, in order to come out with a win. And so if he does anything too standard here, I'm going to say it's going to be 0-2 here.
All right, fair enough. We'll see. Can Terminator mix it up?